My husband served 22 years in the Army, and that included 6 deployments, including 4 combat deployments. So during that time, we had babies. We have 5 children. We have 4 currently at home, and then 1 who is out of the house. We have 2 daughters, and we have 3 sons. My daughters are teenagers, and one thing that really stood out to me when it came time to actually use my voice and speak for the things I've learned over my career working for the government as well, and then also being a mother, a daughter, a sister, an advocate, was that I had to speak up in order to make changes for my daughter. There was never a time, one time in my life, when I held my baby for the first time, that I ever thought that she would live in a country that had fewer rights than I have. And it's appalling, and something has to be done. A little bit about myself, I am a nonprofit worker. I work in Angelina County. Some of you may know, I think one of you spoke about it earlier, the gerrymandering. I started my campaign in Angelina County in Lufkin, and then we found out they were splitting the whole district in half. So people may ask, why are you still running? Why are you doing this? This doesn't involve you or the county or the people that you serve anymore, but it does. If one person is lacking freedom, none of us have freedom. And if we are not willing to stand up for what's right and make our voices heard, that could be somebody who doesn't have the voice that we have in order to make it happen. So that is why I'm here. A little bit about my education. I have my bachelor's degree in criminal justice with a concentration in, with a concentration in human services. Also my master's in criminal justice with a concentration in homeland security. I worked for the Army, I worked for the Air Force, and I most recently worked for the Space Force, where I resigned the day after Donald Trump got elected. I am not a loyalist, and I could not stand by and take orders from somebody at the top who has no morals, no loyalty or love for human beings. So now I'm here. The people in my community sought me out, and they asked me if I would be willing to do this. I know exactly how the government works from the inside. I know from the Army, I worked with soldiers every day doing their awards. I was an award administrator to working for the Air Force, where I deployed most recently in 2023 to the Middle East. Actually, guess what day? October 7th, 2023 was when I deployed. And it was just, as somebody who's always worked hand in hand with soldiers, I never joined the military. My husband, of course, had served all those years, but I wanted my focus to be more internal and not really have to worry about, putting kid on when I'm doing executive assistant work. And I did that for about three months, and then I was stationed in California, and that is where I stopped working for the government after that. The squadron I worked for is now completely disintegrated. All of my friends who held the same type of jobs that I have been fired, laid off, are worried about their families, price of groceries, all of those things that we're seeing today. So with my voice being able to reach across those bridges of where we stand as a community, we're seeing these injustices done daily. We see it on the street. I've talked to Kelly there, and she was telling me about high schoolers being detained. That is insane. That is not the country that we were brought up in. That's not what I was told I would inherit. And it is definitely not what my children will inherit. I want to bridge that gap between everyday people, a working mom, a working wife. I work in nonprofit now. I bring home vets all the way from to Houston, down to Dallas, and over to Waco. We get those vets off the street. We provide them the jobs they need. We provide them the housing they need, and everything that they need so that they can continue on and get these benefits that they deserve. So that is a big passion of mine, is the veterans in the community. I want to take everything I've learned, my passion, my youth, my education, my strength, my tenacity, and my ability to speak to people, and I want to take that to Congress for all of you and for our whole community. Thank you.